does use the word black, not in isolation, but surrounded by a number of highly offensive swear words. This is how John Terry reacted when he recalled his version of events to the FA last year.
We're still having a sort of a ding-dong, if you like, and that's when, as I said before, he said black. Clearly, as I said before, I don't think he's calling me a black.
He says that he said to you, you're the one who your teammates misses, that makes you a. That's what he says he said. Is that what you heard or heard part of? Is that what we're all talking about the same thing here?
Yeah, I think we must be, but I've heard Bruce's misses.
Yeah.
That's what I've heard. I've not heard what he said.
Moving on from the next bit where you think he's saying that you've called him a black. Did you just hear those two words, or did you hear more words than that?
Yeah, I just heard sort of calling me a black. That.
Right, calling me a black. Can you remember exactly what you said back to him?
I think it was something along the lines of, you black, you're.
So are you saying you said, you black, question mark, you as opposed to an insult?
Yeah, no,
do you see what I mean? That's what I'm trying to get you to say without putting words in your mouth.
No, 100%.
That version of events does differ from the version of events that Anton Ferdinand said in court number 1 yesterday. Ferdinand said that he first became aware of issues of racist language used after the game and after he had shaken John Terry's hand inside Chelsea's changing rooms. According to Ferdinand, the first he knew about it was when he was shown clips on the website YouTubed from his girlfriends long after the game. Well, John Terry, again, the message from him throughout this trial has been one that he would never engage in any form of racist language. He said it's not something that he's been accused of before, and he reacted with anger, with hurt at the accusations put to him by Anton Ferdinand.
I've been called a lot of things in my football career and outside of football as well, but being a racist is not one I'm prepared to take at all. You know, and that's why, you know, I come out and made my statement instantly. And I'm not having anyone, and let alone Anton, think that at all about me, because that's not my character at all.
Well, the court also heard from a police officer shortly after that audio interview was played in court. And inside court, the police officer said how difficult it had been to contact Anton Ferdinand before they took a witness statement. They said that as far as they were concerned, it was very difficult to hear from Anton Ferdinand. They said that he didn't immediately want to contact the police back, and he said that Ferdinand led an unstructured life outside of football, but he denied claims from the prosecution that that Anton Ferdinand's team had tried to put pressure on the police to press charges. There then followed a case from the defence. They said that as far as they were concerned, the evidence was weak and timid. They wanted the case to be dismissed just before lunch. Chief Magistrate Howard Riddle then had lunch, then came back and said no, as far as he was concerned, there was a case to answer. The defence then called on John Terry, who then took oath and stood in the witness box. He again made softly spoken inside that box. He then made a defence saying that he once again would never engage in any form of racist abuse on the pitch to a fellow member. He was then cross-examined by the prosecution. Under cross-examination, John Terry was asked whether or not he'd heard the phrase, "Your mum's a slag." Terry replied that he had, but any comments on the pitch about mothers were, in his words, a no-go. Terry said, "Girls and that, well, they're part and parcel." That's what John Terry responded. It was then put to John Terry that he had snapped. He had snapped under the pressure, snapped under the comments made by Anton Ferdinand in relation to an alleged extramarital affair. That was something that John Terry dismissed. He said, no, he didn't snap. Why would I snap to just one person? He said, when I've had 70,000 people chanting it in the past. It was then put to John Terry, what is acceptable banter out on the football pitch? He recalled an incident where he told the QPR player Paddy Kenny that he was fat. He then gestured that with his mouth, with his cheeks in his hands. He said, "Fat, I've been called that." The prosecution said, "But you're a supreme athlete, aren't you?" He laughed and said, "I used to be. I put on a few pounds now," to which the court laughed as well. Then the prosecution said, "The fact is that you're not a racist, but you used racist language that day." That's that is not something that John Terry agrees with. He says that he was simply repeating the words put to him by Anton Ferdinand. John Terry will return here to Westminster Magistrates Court, back in the witness box tomorrow morning. The case here continues. Terry denies the charge of a racially aggravated public order offence.
Right, thank you.
Swansea City have been busy in the transfer market. 2 signings so far. The first signing we